Hello, everybody, and welcome into this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. On today's edition, we'll have Jared Keene as well as Andy Barron and Steve Watson on to talk some NFL football. But first, the Hillers fall season has gotten started, and we caught up with some of the Hiller fall teams as they got ready for this 2022-23 fall season. So without further ado, here is a look at this year's Hiller boys and girls soccer teams, as well as the Hiller field hockey team. Last year, Hopkinton Hillers boys soccer finished 15-6-1 overall and won 2 playoff games before falling to West Springfield and the Elite Eight of the Division II state tournament. The Hillers returned some great experienced players this year, including their captains.
Hi, my name's Sam Vasington. I'm a forward.
I'm Peter D. McKellen, I'm a midfielder.
I'm Declan Mick. I'm a defender.
Yeah, it's going great so far. We've got great senior leadership, particularly from the captains, Sam, Peter, and Declan. I have a lot of returning seniors from last year's team that are really good leaders as well. We added some new guys that are really positive and working hard, so it's been a really good atmosphere so far.
And what are some of the drills that you've been working on to get ready for the opening game Tuesday?
Yeah, a lot of ball movement so that we can work up to game speed. You know, in our league, all the teams are really talented. The ball moves quick. You got to have good technique. And so a lot of what we work on is getting up to game speed and game fitness.
Practices are starting off pretty fast. We're getting into the swing of things pretty early in the season, which is really exciting.
I think we're getting the rust off. We're doing good. I think in our last scrimmage, we really came together as a team and played well and made passes together. So I think our team chemistry is going up, which is good.
Along with that, we've been getting some fitness in every practice, every other practice. We had a team session, so we're just working towards getting everyone together, tightening up the group for a successful season.
Do you have any goals that you'd like to accomplish this season, either personally or team-wise?
The team goal every year is to win the TVL championship, and I think obviously coming with that, we're going to try to make the playoffs this year, obviously.
And I think we went far in the playoffs last year, and I think we all think we can go far again this year, so that's definitely a goal for us.
I would agree. I have to agree with that. Definitely TVL championship, hopefully, along with a run at the state title.
Terrific. And how's the new players looking? Any thoughts on them?
Yeah, all the new guys have come in, sort of hit the ground running. We're really excited to get new blood in the team. Obviously, we've had a lot of returners this year, but at the same time, having new players just pushes that level up to where we want to be.
And I think everyone's fitting in well together. We've all played together in the past, whether it be camps, captain's practices, or in summer league. So I think we've all already played together, which helps with the team and getting everyone adjusted.
So we're working towards the start of the season. All the new guys are fitting in very well. They're adjusting very, very nicely, fitting in, working hard, if not harder than all the other guys. So it's good to see.
Be sure to catch Hopkinton Hillers boys soccer on HCAM throughout the season. Hopkinton Hillers girls varsity soccer finished 10-9 overall last season and lost a close one in the playoffs in the first round against a tough Brookline team. But they return many experienced players this year, including their captains, and look to take the next step.
I'm Emmy Joy, and I play center mid.
I'm Brooke Burwissel, and I play center back. I'm Libby Hurley, and I'm a goalkeeper.
So how's practice going so far? How's the team look?
The team's looking really good. I'm super excited to see how well we do this season and how far we go. Obviously, the more we practice, the better we get, and already I think we're pretty good, so the more we practice, the better I think we'll get.
Yeah, not too much to add to that. We're looking really strong so far.
Yeah, I agree. It's been really cool to especially see the newer players come up and get to know all the girls, and I think we've been working together really well, especially for only playing with each other for a couple weeks, 2 weeks at this point. So it's looking really good, and I'm really excited to see what comes next.
Excellent. Do you have any goals that you'd like to achieve this season?
Obviously, it's always just to do the best that we can. I think
just like spend more time as a team together, because I think like if your team's not really bonded, I don't really like see like the chemistry's not there and then you don't play well. So I think getting closer as a team is really important, and just overall like we already gel so well together, so just working on that we can only get better from here.
Yeah, definitely the team chemistry, and personally as a senior, I want to go far in playoffs.
I agree. And even just from last year, we kind of had a bit of a hard time on the road winning games. So I know we're definitely putting a lot of focus on that. And we just had a scrimmage in Foxborough, and it went really well. We played really well together. So I think a big goal of ours is to definitely improve our record on the road and, yeah, get a little further in playoffs than last season. But, yeah.
Head coach Tom Skiba enters his 4th season at the helm and is optimistic about this year's team.
We had a really good tryout. It was obvious that the girls had worked very hard throughout the summer on their athleticism and their soccer skills. So very competitive tryout session, and it hopefully gives us a jump start on the season.
What are you working on heading into week 1?
So we're really a couple of things, right? We are really focused this year on having everybody be a better athlete. So we're doing a lot of quickness and agility activities. And then in conjunction with that, we want people to get much better at their soccer skills. So we're doing a lot of work on individual skill work, on the ground, in the air, trapping, and then we advance that to combination play, either 2-player or 3-player combination play.
Be sure to catch Hopkinton Hillers girls soccer on HCAM throughout the season. Hopkinton Hillers field hockey is coming off a tough 2-15-1 season, but this year returns some great experience to the team and an experienced field hockey talent, Allison Valencia, who is at the helm for her first season as coach.
My name is Allison Valencia. I've been coaching for like almost 15 years now, which is so bizarre. I started coaching in college as kind of just a side gig and to keep myself involved in the sport while I was still playing and in the off season in college. And then when I graduated, I was lucky enough to go play abroad a little bit. And then when I came back, I just missed the sport once my playing career was over. So I started coaching over at Foxborough, and we had a really successful couple years over at Foxborough when I was there. And I stepped away from high school coaching for a little bit, with my new job that I had, and just the scheduling is really tough. But still was involved in coaching and club and things like that. But I was super excited when this opportunity arose, and I jumped on it. So here I am, and I'm ready to help this team out.
Terrific. Where did you go in your school days?
I played over at Worcester State for 4 years, and then I played in Scotland for a summer after I graduated.
Okay. High school?
Oh, high school. I actually went to Foxborough High. Yeah.
All right, so how's the team looking so far in these early days?
I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing so far. A lot of good energy from these girls, great leadership from our upperclassmen, our seniors and our juniors, which is super important, especially me as coming in here not knowing anybody. So having these seniors kind of help me out and really set the tone for practice has made my job a little bit easier. Their experience and their skill level is definitely helping us, I think. And these girls are willing to learn. It's awesome. I know they had a tough season last year, but they're ready to win. They're ready to work hard. And, our team motto and our team theme this year is to win the day and just win the small drill that you're working on, win at sprinting, just taking it one day at a time.
And I think it must have made the transition easier for you knowing that you have an experienced team.
It did, yeah, it definitely did. I was lucky enough to coach Camille Perlov and Mara Souza in club, so I knew that I had a couple good older experienced kids, and they gave me some background of the other seniors and juniors, so I was very excited to have some good leadership and some veterans on the team.
And what are some of these drills that you're working on as we head into the first week of the season?
A lot of drills, passing, moving the ball, keeping possession of the ball. Longer the days of field hockey where you just hit and hope. Field hockey is definitely a possession game, a keep-away game. I think another thing we're really trying to work on is just getting a lot of shots on net, and our rebounding is super important. So possession, a lot of shooting.
Terrific. Well, Coach, we're looking forward to the season, and We're looking forward to covering this team on HCAM.
Yeah, thank you. Hope everyone comes out to a couple games.
The Hillers will have some very experienced captains leading the way.
I'm Maura Souza. I play midfield.
I'm Maya Ghosh. I play forward.
I'm Erin Halloran. I play forward.
I'm Camille Perlov. I play forward and mid. Practices have definitely been intense. They've been definitely a lot more. There's
Conditioning.
A lot more conditioning, which is good for our team. We definitely want to be the most fit team in the TVL, which I think will help us tremendously when it comes to games.
Team's looking great. I've never seen our girls more motivated and happy to be here, which is lovely to see. Practices, scrimmages are going great so far. Like I said, I just love seeing the girls motivated and happy to play.
Everything's going great. It feels good to be a senior and to feel like a leader on the team. And I really look forward to coming every day and making sure everyone's excited to be here.
Yeah, like Erin said, I think the intensity's definitely been up. We had our preseason and we had 2 scrimmages. And I think that we're just really focusing on some of like the smaller like skills and playing together as a team so that when we do get into our season, we're ready to go and it translates.
And do you have any goals this season that you'd like to accomplish?
Yeah, we want to make it to playoffs, and 2, like I said, we want to be the most fit team in the TVL.
Like they said, I really would like to win some games and make it to playoffs this year.
Yeah, I want to win some games. I want to get a groove going. But yeah, that's my main goal. I want to have fun and win some games.
And how are you liking your coach?
I love her. Coach V is the best.
Yeah, senior year, so I'm really looking forward to having a good year and playing some high-level hockey with all my friends. And yeah, I think it's going to be a winning season. Both of our scrimmages we've won so far, so we're excited for a good year.
Terrific. And how are the newer players looking?
Yeah, we have a lot of returning players. I think we only have 4 newer players, and everyone's really fit right in and is ready to go. And they've all been playing in our scrimmages, and we're really lucky to have such a great team.
All right, terrific. And it must be nice to have an experienced team.
Yes, definitely. Last year was tougher. We had a lot of seniors graduating the prior year, so it was definitely like our rebuilding year, and it's nice to have a lot of people returning and knowing what we're doing.
Be sure to catch Hopkinton Hillers field hockey on HCAM throughout the season. Hello, everybody, and welcome into HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and we got the boys with us to talk some football. We got Andy Barrett from MyFM 101.3, independent reporter Jared Keene, HCAM contributor and voice of the Milford Scarlet Hawks and Nipmuc Warriors. Steve Watson is with us. Guys, how are you?
Good. How are you? Glad to have Steve back. Hey, how's it going, Jared?
Good to have Steve back. Always good to have Steve back in the mix.
I mean, it's just not a good show
Best
without
time of year, gents.
I am doing great. Hillers Soccer came up with a nice win today. That was fun to broadcast. The girls soccer team taking down Ashland 3-1. Great victory. Fall sports underway, and I think there's going to be a lot of great battles throughout the TVL and the Hockomock and a lot of the local leagues. A lot of good teams around the area, guys. So it should be fun to watch. All right, so we got about 40 minutes for the segment, so we'll get right into NFL picks. And last week, well, it wasn't so great for any of us. I was the worst. I went 6-8. Pretty bad. Jared, you went 7-7. Andy, you went 7-7. Steve, you went 7-7. And Mike was the champion of the week, going 9-5.
Wow.
Yes.
9-5.
And I'm not even going to count the ties. So like if the game ties, it doesn't count as anything as far as I'm concerned. And obviously we had a tie last week, Houston and Indy. But Mike going 9-5, that's pretty impressive.
I don't even think Bob would have picked that tie.
Bob would have nailed that tie.
Thanks to Indy, I'm out of my knockout pool, so thanks a lot.
Oh boy, that's a rough one.
Horrible, just horrible game.
That's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Come on, you tie the Texans. I mean, come on. I mean, horrible.
And they came all the way back. They were down by like 16 in the fourth quarter. Came all the way back. And missed field goal. They ended up missing a field goal in the last few seconds. A lot of missed
awful
field goals
weekend for
yesterday.
kickers. This might be one of the worst weekend for kickers I can ever remember in the history of the NFL. That was awful. Just an awful display of kicking.
Poor Cincinnati. 2 missed easy field goals to win the game. And you end up losing to Pittsburgh after a game that they quite frankly deserved to lose that game because they were pretty bad all throughout. And they had a pretty big comeback in that game too. But 2 missed kicks where you could have just locked that game up. What a wild week one.
I'm going to give props to Jared, though. He took Cleveland over Carolina. That was impressive. I thought Carolina was going to pull it out, but Cleveland pulls it out at the end.
Well, he was the only one to take Patriots over Miami, so that kind of gets rid of all the credit.
Very true. Very true. Again, it's bad when Steve didn't even pick the Patriots. So
yes, it's bad because I always pick the Patriots.
My God!
Not my best, but I will take the credit for that Browns pick.
I am so glad that we will not be going back to Miami this year.
Amen.
That was one of the worst performances I have ever seen. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Let it rip right now. Let it rip. Big rant here.
I mean, it's just where do we even begin? Like, I am just so angry with this football team. Like, I can take a loss, gentlemen. You know that. But what?
That was just ugly. Ugly.
Yeah.
What was I thought the defense was pretty good. The defense was only responsible for about 10 of those points that they gave up, maybe less, maybe 7. I forget. But it was at the very most points the defense gave up, it was 10. Because 10 of those points, it was a fumble recovery that was ran into the end zone. And then I think there was an interception in there that gave Miami very good field position. So the defense played pretty well. The offense, an absolute train wreck. And I said it going in. They don't even know who their coordinator is. I don't think this is going to go well. And sure enough, it didn't go well at all. I thought the play calling was atrocious. No one really stood out to me. It was just bad all around. What a awful offensive performance. Jonnu Smith had a couple of catches, which was nice to see, but not many high notes in that game. Steve, what were your thoughts about the Pats game we just witnessed?
I thought it was horrible. I thought with the offense, they had the run game going. They didn't use it often enough. With the passing game, way too aggressive at some times, way too conservative at others. Some of the play calls are just totally unnecessary. Mac Jones getting blown up all day. Hopefully he can start this upcoming Sunday. Even for x-rays that were negative. Hopefully he'll be okay. Defense, so overall it was solid. I thought they were terrible on 3rd and 4th down, though. You had the offsides on 4th down. You had the touchdown to Waddle on 4th and 7, the last play of the half, or near the last play of the half. It can't happen. But that said, I did not expect them to win in Miami. They're now 2-8 in the last 10 there. They just can't figure it out. So not surprising, but I expected a little better.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to win, but I expected him to play better than that. That's for sure. Jared, any thoughts about that atrocious Patriots offensive performance we saw on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, the lack of obviously an offensive coordinator showed, as you and Steve mentioned, with the ridiculous play calling at points. You mentioned an interception. That interception early when we were moving the ball and then threw a pick in the red zone. That was that was a killer. We had the run game going. And then just got away from it. I also saw a stat on Twitter. We ran 2 play action passes the whole game.
Pitiful.
That's ridiculous.
Here's a question I have to all of you. Why was Kendrick Bourne only on the field for 2 snaps? This is ridiculous. Like, seriously, can we stop with the pettiness and stop with all the nonsense? I'm in Bill's doghouse. Enough. The team's not good enough. Every time he's on the field, he makes a play. Mac Jones hits him to a 41-yard pass. The guy gets open. He makes plays. He needs to be on the field. The team is not good enough to not have their best players on the bench. I am sick and tired of this nonsense. Stop it. Put your best players on the field.
I think we're all in agreement there.
I agree with Andy. Honestly, I think Bourne's the top receiver on the team.
I agree. And Jacoby Myers played well too.
He's a freaky good athlete. He can make plays in a lot of different ways. So why they're not using him, that's more of a question for Bill, Matt, and Joe. I really have no idea, but he needs to be out there more.
I think Devontae Parker will be the number 1 receiver on this team, but I like Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers is kind of 2 and 2A or whatever. I mean, Devontae Parker is a good receiver. You know, he probably should be the number 1 on this team. But again, that's not taking away from Kendrick Bourne at all. You know, again, I think he should be. I mean, again, 2. Come on, yeah. The usage is ridiculous.
Yeah, in his first snap, he had a 41-yard catch. It was the best play of the whole day for the team.
He's getting he gets separation. He runs good routes and he's tough. He battles. Those are the type of receivers you want on this team. And Jacoby Myers, Jared just said it. I thought Jacoby Myers played well.
He looked okay. He looked decent yesterday, yeah.
And I know Nelson Aguilar fumbled the ball. He looks a little different out there. I saw him make that one catch and he turned up field like, whoa, like that. He looks like he got another speed there a little bit. The fumble was not good, don't get me wrong. And just really quickly, I want to go to the defense because we were talking about this on the Buzz this week, but I think Jonathan Jones is actually pretty good. Like, he really impressed me. Listen, we know how good Tyreek Hill is. He's probably the fastest guy in the history of the NFL. I think he frustrated him a little bit. And Kyle Duggar put a big hit on him too. You know, I just
tackles out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were frustrating the guy a little bit. He is not the reason why the Dolphins won. Jalen Waddle was the guy I was worried about more. And he on that atrocious 4th and 7 play, 3 guys can't get a receiver. Unbelievable. Like
I mean, that was a backbreaker right there. Again, with 20 seconds left in the half, less than that.
Yeah,
you gotta make that stop.
The broadcasters were saying that they shouldn't even go for it. Yeah. And then they do go for it and they get a touchdown.
Because it shows you they have no respect for the Patriots. I mean, who can blame them? Gentlemen, I got to tell you something. I am not feeling good about this. This thing is really going to go sideways. And let's see how they play in Pittsburgh this week. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they get shellacked in Pittsburgh, these fans are going to be out for blood in week 3 in Foxborough because it's time to start holding people accountable.
I agree. Pittsburgh looked good last week too. They just beat the Super Bowl champs. You got to give them credit for that. That is a really impressive win. And Mitch Trubisky played well. That Pittsburgh defense was firing on all cylinders all over the field. To beat that Cincinnati team, maybe Pittsburgh is for real. We kind of joked at how they look like the weakest team in the AFC North, but after what they did this past Sunday, maybe they're not. Maybe they are going to be one of those teams to look out for this season. That was a really impressive win. I'm a little nervous going into week 2, especially after that horrid performance where you just couldn't get anything going whatsoever offensively. You couldn't get the run game going. You couldn't get the passing game going. And, yeah, they should have had Bourne on the field. They should have him on the field at pretty much every offensive snap. He is a guy that can burn by defenders, and he was really the only one making plays. Enough of this doghouse stuff. Put him on the field and win some games, or you're just going to be a laughing stock of the NFL.
I have a bone to pick with that Steelers defense, by the way. I was up against the Steelers defense in fantasy this week. 27 points in fantasy, and that was, I think, the reason why I lost this week. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane.
Well, that is the reason you lost. You don't have to think anymore.
I mean, I also started Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow actually ended up having an okay performance, but still 4 INTs does not help. But, yeah.
No.
Well,
anyway.
I had Jameis Winston, and I was very scared throughout the first 3.5 quarters of that game because he had about 3 something points. Then he gets hurt and comes out of the game, and I'm like, oh, no. This week 1, come on. But then he came back in, and he ended up tying the game, and I think they ended up winning.
They did. The Saints won by a point. Yeah, over the Falcons found another way to lose.
Right.
Like
Another historic.
The Lions and the Falcons literally cannot get out of their own way.
Yep.
Like it's unreal.
The Lions had a shot too. The Lions had a real shot to come back on Philly there.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really rooting for my upset of the week. I was
close.
I was pretty mad.
That was close, man. That was
close,
really close.
Tom. Yeah,
that's as close as you'll ever get with the Lions. That's for sure.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Patriots play like that, they're not going to beat the Lions. Okay.
They might.
They're not going to beat many, if any, teams. Let's be honest.
No,
not if they play
might
like
even lose
that.
to the Jets, or maybe we can beat the Jets, but we'll see.
And Tyreek Hill had a couple of good plays, but he wasn't. It's pretty clear to me that Tua and Tyreek Hill haven't developed that connection yet.
Not yet. No.
They still got a ways to go to develop the connection that Mahomes and Tyreek Hill had.
Oh, let me just tell you something, guys. The Chiefs did not miss a beat absolutely.
Mahomes was insane.
Shredded. That Arizona team's got a lot of problems right now.
Yeah.
They are not on the level of the Chiefs. It's not even close.
I will not be picking Arizona a lot this year. This is this will be the quite opposite from last year.
No, the Chiefs are still really good. I mean, they just completely it's not even close. I mean, not even close.
I agree. The Chiefs looked really good, shredding that Arizona defense. I mean, Mahomes is one of those guys that can throw to pretty much anybody, but him having Tyreek Hill was just crazy for those.
I mean, his chemistry with Travis Kelce is just on another level.
Yes.
Yep.
Very similar to Brady and Gronkowski in their peak. It just. Yeah, you have to say it. I mean, I don't know. Just glad to have football back. Just wish the Patriots played a little bit better. My God, I had some friends that went to the game and they said it was so hot. Like it was disgusting how hot it was in Miami. I mean,
what a brutal game to travel all the way to Miami to.
Yep,
that is brutal. All right, so we'll let the audience in on a little secret. We're recording this show on Monday before Monday Night Football, so there's 2 games we will not be picking on the show. We will pick them after the recording. And that is Seattle at San Francisco and Houston at Denver. We'll pick those later on after the recording because we haven't had a chance to see Seattle play yet or Denver. So we're going to hold off on those 2 games. But we will pick the rest and all the teams that we did see play. So let's get into it. Thursday Night Football, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. This should be a good battle. The Chargers coming up with a big win over the Oakland Raiders, and the Kansas City Chiefs just shredding Arizona. The Chargers, their defense is substantially better than Arizona's, and I think this will be a very close game. And obviously, you only have that 3-night break, which certainly doesn't help. But I think looking at Kansas City's offense last week, they're already on fire. They look like they're in midseason form. So give me the Chiefs for this one. Although the other way, Chargers taking this game wouldn't surprise me either, but Chiefs just look like they're in midseason form. So I got to go with Pat Mahomes and Kansas City. Let's see. Jared, who are you picking?
I want to pick the Chargers here just because they looked pretty good yesterday and a really good win over the Raiders, who I thought were actually probably going to win. But, I mean, after seeing what Kansas City did, I think it's hard not to pick Kansas City. Again, if the Chargers win this game, wouldn't be surprised in the least, but I think I have to pick Kansas City by default, sort of, because of how good they looked yesterday. I mean, yeah. I think it's going to be close. This is not going to be a blowout, though.
I agree. I love how you always build up the suspense. I want to pick the Chargers, but then you talk yourself out of it and you pick.
This is a hard game to pick, man. The Chargers are going to be good this year. Herbert is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. You heard it first.
I agree. Andy, who are you picking?
I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a good game. The Chargers have given the Chiefs problems. That they have a legit defense, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day against the Chargers defense. But this might be a field goal type of game. But I am going to take the Chiefs only because I still don't believe in the Chargers winning on the road and their coaching staff. I still think it's a problem. But nonetheless, it's going to be a great battle. No doubt about it.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Steve, who you picking?
I go with the Chiefs. It's their home opener, and they're very tough to play against at home. So I do think it's going to be a great game, though.
Absolutely. I think it will be. All right. Moving on to the Sunday games. We start off with the 1:00 games. We got the Miami Dolphins, the 1-0 Dolphins at the 1-0 Baltimore Ravens. This is an interesting matchup to me. A lot to consider here. I think this matchup is going to have a lot of points. I think this is going to be a shootout between these two teams. But we will reverse order, and let's have Steve go first for this one. Miami at Baltimore.
I'll take the Ravens in this one.
All right, I like it. All right, let's see. Andy.
I'm going with the Ravens. I think the Dolphins are going to come back down to earth this week. The Ravens are not even on the same level as the Patriots. The Patriots aren't on their level. It's at home. I think the Ravens win by 10, 15 points.
All right, Jared.
I'm also taking the Ravens. The Ravens do have a couple of injuries on their defense now. I think their safety, Kyle Fuller, suffered a torn ACL the other day. But yeah, I mean, their defense played really well yesterday, and Lamar Jackson is going to do some things this year. So, yeah, I mean, they got some guys to throw to. They got Rashad Bateman, a few other guys. Yeah, give me the Ravens.
All right, Ravens it is. Next game, New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns. I'm certainly not picking the Jets. I don't know if I would pick them to beat the Crimson Tide right now. So I'm going to go with Cleveland. Andy, who you going with?
Going with the Browns. The Jets looked absolutely lost. What else is new against the Ravens? I give the Browns credit. I thought they were going to lose week one, and they played well. If they can't lose this game, I mean, it's if they can't beat the Jets, that's not good. No, Browns win this one.
All right, Steve.
I'm taking the Browns. I also, much like Andy, did not pick them to beat the Panthers, but hey, they hit a 58-yard field goal to win the game. First opening day win since 2004. It's a long streak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, who knows? They might start 2-0 without Deshaun Watson. That'd be pretty good for them.
Yeah,
if they do that really puts them in a very good position.
It does, yeah, because I think the expectations, I'd say, are probably low. That he's not there the first 11 games, so if they can grab some wins until he's back, then that would certainly help them. Tough division too.
Certainly is. Jared, who do you got?
Well, I'm 1-0 picking the Browns. I think I got to go with the Browns here. I think the Browns are actually playing almost anybody else. I might pick against the Browns this week, but not against the Jets. Definitely the Browns here.
All right, Browns across the board. Never thought I would be saying that this season. Washington at Detroit. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know if I'm going to pick Detroit ever again this season. I guess we'll see how the Pats do, but that's much later down the road. But I'm going Washington here. Detroit, you failed me. I put my trust in you. I gave you the opportunity to pull off a glorious upset for me, and you failed me. So I am not picking you. Go Commanders. Sounds weird saying that. Steve, who you picking?
I'm going to go with Detroit. I think they're going to bite some kneecaps off. So Carson Wentz better watch out, because if he gets his kneecap bitten, he's going to be out for the year.
All right. Steve has Detroit. Good luck. I'm going to be so mad if they fail me and then they come through for you. That's not cool. Andy, who you picking?
Going with Washington. I can't pick the Lions. I just can't do it. I don't think I've ever picked the Lions on this show. Maybe I have. Maybe I have once, but
we'll have to go review the tapes.
Washington.
Jared, who you picking?
I'm picking the Lions. Steve has convinced me to pick the Lions. No, I'm actually going to take the Lions. I don't know. I think they get it done this week. I think Washington is a subpar game. I think Carson Wentz gets blown up a few times, and Yeah, I mean, there's some things to like about this Detroit team. They got some healthy receivers. Amon St. Brown, a really underrated player. DeAndre Swift had a really nice week too. So, yeah, give me the Lions here, but not a blowout by any means.
All right. 2 for the Lions and 2 for Washington. Can't wait to see who Mike's going to pick.
He's going to pick a tie. He'll pick a tie.
He is going to pick a tie.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be a game that ends in a tie next week. It's going to be this one, or it could be this one. Indy at Jacksonville. They've actually ended in ties before. I'm going to go with Indy. They ended in a tie last week in a game they actually should have lost, but they had kind of an impressive comeback. Jacksonville looks like typical Jacksonville. So I'll go Indy here.
Anybody taking Jacksonville?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Awesome. Love
all
that.
right. So we'll go around the table. Jared, who are you taking?
I'm taking Indy. I think Indy gets it done this week. I think they're going to fix some things this week in practice and not put themselves in a position where they might tie a not so great team. So, yeah, give me Taylor, give me Pittman, give me Indy.
All right. Andy.
I'm taking Jacksonville. They've got Indianapolis's number at home. I think they've won 4 straight against them. That Colts team was horrible last week. I mean, they were boring. I'm like, they didn't even look like they even wanted to play. And I just think they got their number. And this is not going to be good if Indy drops to 0-2.
The Colts haven't been exciting since Peyton Manning.
They're a boring team.
They are. Steve, and their uniforms are even boring. Steve, who you taking?
I'm going with Jacksonville. Like Andy said, it's been at least 4, maybe even 5 or 6 years since the Colts have won down there. Jacksonville gave Washington all they could handle. They nearly pulled that one out. Yep. It's a 1:00 game in Jacksonville. It's going to probably be 100+ degrees out. The Colts do not play in that kind of weather. They play in a dome, climate control. That's going to be an issue for them. You know, Jacksonville, they'll still struggle. They're going to be better than they have in the last couple of years, though. So I'm moving with the Jags in this one.
All right. Jacksonville. Did you ever think, Steve, that you would have a week where you picked Detroit and Jacksonville?
I don't think it's happened before, but you know that saying, Tom? This is the first time for everything.
I guess there is. First time I've ever seen that. All right. This one might be the toughest one of the week to pick. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Now we know New Orleans, they've had Tampa's number. They've had Brady's number. They've had some success. I'm very nervous about this game, and I'm still on the fence. So on that note, let's start with Andy.
I'm going with New Orleans. You just took the words right out of my mouth. They've got Tom Brady's number. This is a tough defense. It's on the road. 2 straight games on the road, it's tough. I just think they're going to get after Tom Brady. And Chris Godwin may not play this week. He had a hamstring injury in the win over Dallas. This is just not a good. They shut Tom Brady out last year. I mean, who's to say they can't do it again? I'm taking the Saints.
All right, Steve, who are you taking?
I'll go with the Saints. It's in New Orleans. They've had Brady's number, and then the Bucs in general. The Bucs did beat Dallas, but their offense really didn't look all that great. You know, they moved the ball. They couldn't cash in the red zone. 4 field goals on 5 attempts. The Saints are going to be riding high. They had a nice comeback win over the Falcons.
All right. Is anyone else not hearing Steve?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Steve, your audio went out. Maybe try signing back in. Or you're not muted, so that's weird. But yeah, just try signing back in. Jared, who are you taking?
I'm taking Tampa here. I think Tom is going to be pissed after getting shut out by the Saints last year. Again, yeah, the Godwin thing kind of concerns me, but yeah, I don't know. I think Tampa is going to be locked in this week. And again, the Saints barely hung on to beat Atlanta, who's, going to be fairly subpar this year. So, yeah, give me Tampa.
All right, Tampa for Jared. I'm going to go Can't go against my boy Tom Brady. Give me Tampa. I got to go Tampa. He'll pull it off. He wants revenge. It's about time he got some. Give me Tampa. All right. Carolina at the New York Football Giants, who just pulled off a very impressive win. How did the Giants beat Tennessee? And, one thing I realized is Tennessee, they always have these crazy losses to teams that aren't good. And last week, that was it. They had that crazy loss. Will it be their only one of the season? I don't know. But that was a pretty bad loss. Carolina at Giants. Let's see if Steve's back with us. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to improve to 2-0 in the season. I was shocked at that win. They're down 13, looked dead in the water, and they came back and won yesterday.
All right. New York Football Giants for Steve. I tend to doubt the Giants are going to go 2-0. I think it was just the Tennessee fluke, the annual Tennessee fluke, where they just lose a game against a bad team. I think the Giants did take a step up from last year. The defense actually looked pretty good. And it seems like Daniel Jones, their quarterback, has definitely taken a step up a few notches. So this is a game the Giants could definitely win. But I'm going to take Carolina. I think Baker Mayfield will come back strong. Although I do see this game being close. I think it'll be a close game. Andy, who are you taking?
This is a snoozer of the week, guys. Oh my God, this might be like a 10-3 game. Wasn't impressed with Carolina last week. They're going on the road, taking the Giants. I'll take the
All
Giants.
right, Jared.
This might bite me in the butt, but I'm also going to take the Giants, which is really weird. I don't think I've ever took the Giants in the show. Yeah, like Andy said, Carolina did not impress me. I think Baker is still trying to get some chemistry with his receivers. I think Saquon Barkley is a big game here. Yeah.
I would love it so much if I pick up a win on all three of you, because I was the only one to take Carolina. We'll see if it happens, though. I might be the fool here. So should be an interesting one. But I think, Andy, you were the one who said it. I do picture this not having a lot of points.
No.
It very well could go that way. Or it could have a
17-10 game or something, or 14-10. Or
yeah.
It's either going to be like 10-3 or like 40-37. It's going to be something crazy.
It's a big swing, yeah. I mean,
there's going to be nothing in the middle in this game, I don't think.
No.
All right. New England Patriots at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers just coming off a win against last year's Super Bowl champions. Andy, who you picking?
I'm going with the Steelers. I can't pick the Patriots right now. They just look completely lost. You're going into a tough environment. I mean, I hope they win, but we don't know the situation with Mac Jones. And I just this Steelers defense looks really good. I think they're better than the Dolphins defense. And I think it's going to be another long day for the Patriots.
I have to agree with you. I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers as well for all the reasons you pretty much just said. They look lost. I don't have faith in the offense. And more importantly, and this is something that we'll have to talk a little bit about, Mac Jones might be hurt, which could really be a season ender for the Patriots. Hopefully he's not. That would be a huge blow. But I think this offense is kind of lost right now. And the Steelers, they look good. They look motivated. And Trubisky, quite frankly, looked pretty good last week. Steve, who you going with?
I'm going with Patriots. And the key is really simple. Patriots lost. They turned the ball over 3 times. Pittsburgh won because they have 5 takeaways. So I don't see the Patriots having 3 turnovers. I don't see Pittsburgh having 5 takeaways again. So you have to take care of the football. I think the Pats win a low-scoring, grinded-out game, 16-13.
Says the guy who went with the Giants, Detroit, and Jacksonville all in the same week. Jared, who you picking?
That's a heck of a week, Steve. Good Lord. I'm honestly really tempted to pick a tie here. I'm gonna go with the Patriots again. Again, I got burned in week 1, but Steve mentioned it. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to have 5 takeaways again. That was a pretty extraordinary performance against Cincinnati. So, they still almost lost that game. But I don't really want to take the Patriots, to be completely honest, given how wretched they looked. But I'm going to take the Patriots. It's going to be ugly, but I think they get it done.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a tough game on the road in Pittsburgh. I could picture this being a low-scoring game. I don't think you're going to have a shootout here.
Well, TJ Watt is out. That's a big loss for the Steelers.
Yep.
That is true.
It's a huge loss.
Yes, I have to agree with that. Atlanta at the Rams. Is anyone going to dare to take Atlanta?
No.
No.
If the Rams can't beat Atlanta, they got serious problems.
I mean, I know they looked bad against Buffalo last week. I think Atlanta goes up big and then blows it.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
All right. And then Seattle, San Francisco. We're going to do that later. Cincinnati at Dallas. I'm picking Cincinnati. Dallas looked absolutely lifeless against Tampa. They just couldn't get anything going at all. And I think Cincinnati's going to be pretty mad after losing to Pittsburgh because you missed 2 field goals that could have won you the game. So give me Cincinnati in that one. All right. Andy, who you going with?
Cincinnati. And can Dak Prescott ever stay healthy? This guy is just like riddled with injuries. The Cowboys are a mess. The Bengals are a better team. I think they get it done this week. Cincinnati.
All right. Steve.
I'm going to go with Cincy. Dallas with Dak looked terrible last night. If you think the pass offense is bad, watch the Cowboys offense. It's far worse. And now they don't have Dak. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big problem
That's
down
right.
in Yeah, that's not going to be good. Like I said, they didn't look good with him. Never mind without him. So with Cincy, yeah, I think they'll win that one. But as for them as a whole, I think now they expect to win. Let's be honest. Last year, it's one good year. They lost many years before that. So I think that's part of what cost them yesterday against the Steelers, to be honest with you. So, but I do think that they'll get the Cowboys in week 2.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, Cincy. I mean, I think, you got Joe Burrow starting on one team and you got Cooper Rush starting on the other team.
Who?
I'm not picking Cooper Rush. Come on. Yeah, Cincy by like 1,000.
The Cowboys should get Jason Garrett back. That's what they should do. I mean,
Yes. All right. Houston, Denver, doing that later. Arizona at Las Vegas. Arizona looks like an absolute train wreck. Vegas, they at least gave the Chargers a game, and I think they're going to just get better and better. And Devontae Adams looked really good for the Raiders. So I think there's going to be a high-scoring game. I would definitely go with the over. I'm going to go Vegas here. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with Vegas. I picked Arizona about 1,000 times last year, and obviously I picked them in week 1, and that didn't go well. So, yeah, Vegas. I'm not picking Arizona right now.
All right, Andy.
yeah, going with Las Vegas. I think Arizona's got a lot of problems. The Raiders are still a really good team. They just tough with those divisional games, but they'll get a win this week.
Steve?
I'm going with the Raiders and hopefully a lot of fancy points from Carr, Adams, and Waller.
All right, Raiders across the board. Okay, Sunday Night Football. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay, they looked really bad. Really bad last week.
They were atrocious.
Yes, they were. Jared, you could start on this one. Chicago at Green Bay.
Where's the game? Is it in Green Bay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay here. As bad as they looked, I think they rebound this week. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sold on Chicago still. I know that was a weird one the other day with San Fran, but I'm taking Green Bay here.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, Chicago did have a nice win over San Fran. I don't think anyone really saw that coming. There's a monsoon there, as you saw.
Yeah.
I'll go with Green Bay, though. Yes, they did play terrible in Minnesota. Terrible start of the year. Well, last year, they lost by 5 touchdowns in week 1, and they got the number 1 seed in the conference. So I think they'll be fine. They'll get back on track with a win.
All right, Andy.
Going out on a limb. I'm taking Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
I think their defense.
Oh my goodness.
I think their defense is going to give Aaron. I think Aaron Rodgers has got a lot of problems right now. He got his rear end kicked last night against the Vikings, and I think the Bears are going to pull a monumental upset this week.
That's the week right there. That's a good one.
The sky is falling in Green Bay.
Well, I happen to agree with Andy. I'm going Chicago.
Wow.
I think Chicago pulls off the upset. I think Green Bay's in big trouble. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has any chemistry with pretty much any of the weapons on his team. And I think it's going to take a few weeks to work out those kinks. Now, Aaron Rodgers has owned Chicago. He even mentioned that to them last year, if you remember. After scoring a touchdown, he said, "I own you." But I think Chicago, they'll get some revenge, I think.
They got a pretty good defense. Their defense played good against San Francisco.
They did. That defense looked really good. I mean, they held San Francisco to 10 points.
Yeah, but San Francisco was also playing without Kittle.
True.
San Francisco was without Kittle and lost Elijah Mitchell to injury. I mean, that San Fran, I don't know. San Fran is a joke.
Oh, they're a mess.
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan's I told you guys before, the coach is the problem.
I was so mad at myself. I almost picked Chicago last week, and then I didn't.
San Fran just looked awful.
All right, we got 2 Monday night football games. Tennessee at Buffalo. Buffalo's on absolute fire right now. They already look like they're in midseason form. They beat the Super Bowl champions from last year. Oh, and did I say Pittsburgh beat this? I meant the AFC champions. My bad on that one. But Buffalo just beat the Rams in week 1, the Super Bowl champions from last year. And they're just on fire. They haven't lost a step. I think Buffalo is going to pull off the win here and really make Tennessee panic a bit. Steve, who are you picking?
I'm going to go with the Bills, but I think it's going to be close. The Titans do know how to beat them. So I think it's going to be a close game. But yeah, the Bills, they look like they're in midseason form already. That was very impressive what they did on Thursday out in La La Land.
Absolutely. Andy, who are you picking?
Buffalo. I can't see Tennessee going in here and winning. Steve is right, though. They do give the Bills trouble, but I just think the Bills are on a complete. Let me tell you something. Gabriel Davis, that guy is unreal. I mean,
great pass player too.
Oh, he's looks unstoppable almost. I mean, the Bills are on. That place is going to be wild on Monday night. Now Buffalo all the way.
All right, Buffalo it is. Jared, who are you picking?
Yeah, Bills Mafia. Josh Allen is rapidly turning into one of the best quarterbacks or one of the best players in the league. He obviously gets it done with his feet and through the air. He's got an outstanding chemistry with Stephon Diggs. Andy mentioned Gabe Davis. Yeah, Bills.
Awesome. All right, Bills across the board. And now the 8:30 Monday night game. Minnesota at Philadelphia. This was a tough one to pick. They both won last week. Philly just barely. But they ended up pulling it off against Detroit. And then you got Minnesota, who just stomped all over Green Bay. I think this game could really go either way. It's going to be a tough one, but I'm not going to be fooled by Philly beating Detroit. I mean, it's Detroit. So give me Minnesota, although usually when I pick against Philly, it backfires, but I'll go Minnesota. I think they'll have a nice 2-0 start. Jared, who are you picking?
Yeah, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson is ridiculous. Guys, this guy is this guy's on another level. He's absurd. And then you got Adam Thielen, you got Irv Smith, whoever else you want to throw to. Kirk Cousins look good. Minnesota.
All right. Andy.
Going with Minnesota, I was very impressed with the Vikings, and I agree with Jared. I mean, they got a really good offense, and I don't believe in this Eagles team. I think they're boring. I think they're just – I don't even know why this game's on Monday night, to be honest with you. But I think the Vikings are a better team. They win.
Yeah, I don't know. Why aren't they doing the East Coast, West Coast thing where you have a West Coast game starting at like 10? I don't get it. Now you have overlapping games on Monday night. That's not really cool.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Well, yeah, the new TV contract calls for 3 of these starting next year. So
so
this is like the trial run, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't want to do the East Coast, West Coast thing, the 7 and 10. They're doing the 7 and 8:30 or whatever.
I like the doubleheaders on Monday night. Honestly, I would prefer it.
Yeah,
I like them too.
The contract calls for 3 of them a year starting next year.
All right. Well, that's going to be some heavy TV money for sure.
If they're smart, they'll go East Coast, West Coast, so you can see the entirety of both games.
I'd prefer seeing the whole game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Who are you picking in this one, Steve?
You know what? I'm going to go with Philly. It's at home. The place going to be rocking. It's their home opener. It's going to be close, though. I'm torn. Philly, I think they're a very solid team. I think Minnesota's very solid. A lot of talent on that offense. But if it was in Minnesota, I'd pick the Vikings, but it's in Philly, so I'll go with the Eagles here.
All right. Philly special for Steve. All right. So there you have it, our week 2 NFL picks, but we are just about out of time. So real quickly, guys, let's get into final thoughts. Andy, any final thoughts?
Just a good week of high school football, and we're going to have some more great games coming at you this week. MyFM is going to be covering Holliston and Medway on Friday night, and then they'll be covering Blackstone Valley Tech and Uxbridge on Saturday. But a good start to the season. We're going to have some great matchups coming your way. And Milford looked fantastic over Bridgewater Raynham. They'll have a tough matchup with Wellesley this week, but they look really, really good.
All right. Steve, any final thoughts?
Much like Andy said, great to see high school football starting up. I was over at Milford and Nipmuc this weekend, so a couple wins. And as for Boston College and the Patriots, not a lot to be positive about, but just got to keep grinding, and hopefully our teams will find a way to figure it out here.
Yeah, BC not looking so great. Jared, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just shout out to Carlos Alcaraz, 19-year-old who just won the U.S. Open and is now #1 tennis player in the world on the men's side. This guy is just relentless. He's incredibly talented. He had some fantastic matches this tournament that were just incredible to watch way late into the night. And yeah, I mean, just unbelievable winning the U.S. Open and now being the #1 player in the world at age 19.
Well,
that is absolutely incredible. 19 years old, U.S. Open champion. And my final thoughts are a whole lot of Hiller sports on HCAM this week, so be sure to tune in, including the home opening football game Friday night, Hillers against Algonquin. It should be a great battle. 7 p.m. kickoff. Yours truly will be on the call. Looking forward to what should be a good season. And the Hillers got a nice win last week in Wayland against a team that they have really developed a great rivalry with. So it was a nice start to the season for this more experienced Hillers football team than they were last year. I think this team can certainly go places. Should be a fun one Friday night against Algonquin. But that is going to do it for Steve Watson, Andy Barron, Jared Keene. I'm Tom Nappy. We thank you for watching HCAM Sports Talk. Be well, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.